Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Everything to know about Todd Chrisley's prison stay, the location, daily routine, and more. The Chrisley Knows Best star was sentenced to 12 years in prison after both he and his wife, Julie Chrisley, were found guilty in June 2022 for 12 counts of tax evasion, bank and wire fraud, and conspiracy. Julie, for her part, was sentenced to 7 years in prison and reported to Federal Medical Center in Lexington, Kentucky. The former USA Network stars have repeatedly denied the allegations of fraud, claiming that their former employee Mark Braddock was to blame for allegedly exaggerating the couple's earnings to banks so they could borrow more than $30 million. The couple, who tied the knot in 1996, tried to delay their prison sentences by 21 days, but a judge denied the request. The court also denied the pair's request for bail. In May 2025, President Donald Trump pardoned both Todd and Julie, expediting their release from prison. Scroll down to learn more about the prison where Todd is being housed. When Todd Chrisley, the sharp-tongued, camera-ready patriarch of Chrisley Knows Best, traded tailored suits for khaki prison uniforms, the world took notice. From the moment news broke about his bank fraud and tax evasion convictions, speculation swirled about what his life would actually look like behind bars. Would Todd keep his trademark Southern charm? Could the man who once prided himself on a marble countertop lifestyle survive institutional food and metal bunk beds? Now that we have an inside look at his stay, from the precise location to the little details of his daily routine, it's clear that prison life for Todd is part strict discipline, part surprising adaptability, and part drama that sounds like it could be straight out of his own reality TV series. The location: from mansion to minimum security. Todd Chrisley reported to the federal prison camp in Pensacola, Florida, a minimum security facility often referred to as a camp for white-collar offenders. While that nickname makes it sound like summer camp for adults, the reality is far less glamorous. Located on a former military base near the Gulf Coast, FTC Pensacola is surrounded not by barbed wire, but by open fields and a low perimeter. Still, the absence of high fences doesn't mean freedom. The camp operates on strict schedules, inmate counts, and a zero-tolerance policy for stepping out of line. For Todd, who once spent his mornings filming confessionals in a designer kitchen, the change was jarring. The view from his bunk was no longer Atlanta's skyline, but beige walls, concrete floors, and rows of identical beds. However, sources close to the family have said that the choice of FPC Pensacola was intentional. It's known for being less violent than higher security prisons, offering rehabilitation programs and work assignments that keep inmates busy. It also made visitation easier for his family, since it's closer to the East Coast. First days inside. Stripped of privilege. When Todd first arrived, his name wasn't Todd Chrisley in the eyes of the staff. It was his inmate number. His designer belt, monogrammed shirts, and personal jewelry were replaced by standard-issue prison khakis, plain t-shirts, and steel-toe work boots. One of the first steps was orientation, a briefing on the rules, available programs, and what behavior would get you sent to the hole. Solitary confinement. Todd's natural charisma didn't earn him any shortcuts. Guards made it clear that celebrity status doesn't translate to special privileges. His cell block assignment was simple: a dormitory-style unit with open bays of bunk beds and a shared bathroom. Privacy was a concept left at the prison gates. The daily routine? Prison life is ruled by routine. For Todd, who once micromanaged his schedule down to hair appointments and production meetings, the new rhythm was relentless and non-negotiable. Wake-up call. 4:30 a.m. Every day starts early at FPC Pensacola. By 4:30 a.m., lights are flicked on, and inmates are expected to be up and out of bed. Todd, a man who famously prided himself on looking TV-ready before breakfast, now had less than 20 minutes to wash up and make his bed with military precision. A sloppy bed could result in a write-up. Morning count. 5 o'clock a.m. Guards do an inmate count multiple times a day, and the morning check is the first. Silence is required, and inmates must be standing beside their bunks. For Todd, this ritual was an early reminder that in prison, there's no negotiating. 5:30 a.m. Breakfast at FTC Pensacola isn't a made-to-order omelet station. It's a tray line with options like powdered eggs, oatmeal, or pancakes. Todd, used to fresh fruit platters and barista-level coffee, had to adapt to institutional portions and instant coffee packets. Still, inmates say he quickly learned which items to trade for better ones. Prison barter culture 101. Work assignment, 6 o'clock a.m., 2 o'clock p.m. Every inmate has a job. Todd's work detail reportedly started in the facility's education department, helping other inmates with literacy programs and GED prep. Later, he was assigned to a clerical role, which suited his organized nature. The work isn't glamorous, but it keeps inmates busy, and it pays, albeit in cents per hour. Todd's paycheck might not buy him much at the commissary, but the routine kept his mind occupied. Lunch, 11 o'clock a.m. Lunch often features chicken patties, bologna sandwiches, or beans and rice. Todd learned quickly that if you wanted something fresh, you had to get creative at the commissary, pairing packaged tuna with crackers or doctoring instant ramen with spices. Afternoon, programs, exercise, and calls. After work, inmates can take part in programs like financial literacy classes, addiction recovery, or religious services. Todd, who often leaned on his faith during his legal battles, reportedly attends Bible study sessions. He also began a modest workout routine in the prison yard, favoring brisk walks over heavy weightlifting. Phone calls to family are precious. Each inmate has a limited number of minutes per month, and Todd often used his to speak with Savannah, who became the family spokesperson during his incarceration. Dinner, 4:30 p.m. Dinner might be meatloaf, spaghetti, or turkey tacos, all served in cafeteria-style portions. Todd is said to be selective about what he eats, sometimes skipping main dishes in favor of commissary snacks. Evening, downtime until lights out. Evenings are for card games, TV in the common room, or reading. Todd reportedly gravitates towards self-help books and magazines, anything that keeps his mind active. Lights out comes at 10 o'clock p.m. sharp, though dorm noise can make it hard to sleep. Earplugs, if you can get them from commissary, are gold. The commissary, Todd's survival strategy. The commissary is the prison's version of a convenience store, and for Todd, it became a lifeline. Items like instant coffee, tuna, candy bars, and hygiene products are sold for small amounts, but the spending limit each week is strict. Todd's favorites reportedly include peanut butter for quick protein snacks, instant oatmeal, better than the cafeteria's version, shampoo with a decent scent, a morale booster, instant coffee, a necessity for early mornings. Trading is common, and Todd's natural charm allowed him to swap items strategically, though he had to be careful not to appear like he was playing favorites. Prison politics and social survival. While FTC Pensacola is less dangerous than higher security prisons, every inmate has to learn the unwritten rules. Todd was careful about who he associated with, avoiding involvement in gambling debts or arguments. His status as a public figure meant some inmates were curious about his life, but Todd learned to deflect certain questions. He also faced the challenge of being known for wealth and privilege in an environment where equality, at least in theory, is enforced. According to sources, he'd avoided bragging about his past, instead finding common ground in faith and family values. Family visits, a bright spot. One of Todd's biggest motivations has been family visits. FTC Pensacola allows contact visits, meaning he can hug and sit beside visitors. Savannah has shared emotional updates about seeing her father, noting that while prison life has aged him, his spirit remains strong. Visits are scheduled and monitored. There's no wandering. Visitors and inmates sit in assigned areas, and guards keep an eye on physical contact. Still, being able to hold his family's hands is a privilege Todd doesn't take lightly. Mental health and coping. Prison can take a heavy mental toll, especially for someone used to freedom and control over their environment. Todd leans heavily on his religious faith, attending chapel services regularly and reading the Bible daily.